What is up, YouTube? And today we're going to talk about the changes to Aurora, which pretty much makes Fushu unusable here now. So with the patch update, actually there was a bug fix that might have gotten overlooked by a lot of people, but it basically says that Amber bug is going to be fixed for Aurora. And what that bug was, which I was not even aware existed, was that if your Amber actually procced, you would get damage reduction for the rest of the fight. And this was the biggest reason why Fushu was able to be used here, right? You would use her on Amber so she didn't die on the opener, and if it procced, you would be able to continuously heal. However, apparently there was a bug where, if this procced, you just took less damage. So overnight, if you realize, your Fushu team for Aurora went from 100% win rate to 0% win rate, that is pretty much it. Fushu is pretty hard to actually use here now, if at all. I tested her out on the old build and on a different build with a very much tankier stat line, actually. I ran her on this build and she still would end up dying. And you can see this build is pretty good, right? You're super fast, you have a lot of health, you're on Fortissimo, so you're healing a lot. It's still not enough. Now, although it's a bug, and honestly you shouldn't be able to use green characters here, I think this is pretty unfair because a lot of people didn't even know that the bug existed, like me included. So it just makes it so that you just have to rebuild another team for Aurora, essentially, if you used Fushu as your main team and it was the first team that you built for it. On the bright side though, she is going to be still able to be used in Doki Doki and Teramaton. She's still in 100% win rate teams here, which I posted on my channel. And for shell content, you can use her very easily in Sharon and Rengo Kutsu even. And in Shadow Flame Hoyan and Nikonana, you can still technically use her, but it's a little bit harder. So because of that, if you're wondering why your Aurora win rate went down, it's basically because she got shadow nerfed because of this bug. Now, is this fair? So for me, I'm kind of torn between it. One, because I can farm this anyways, so that might have some say in why I might be saying this, but I think what the devs wanted is they didn't want a green character to clear this, right? Literally on Inferno difficulty, you see that Aurora is doing double damage to green characters, so essentially it means don't bring green characters. And because Fushu is green, and they saw that everyone was running her on Amber to use her, that's probably why they decided to fix this bug, which a lot of people, I think 99% of the community didn't know about, including myself, and probably a lot of content creators as well. A lot of people were trying to hide the bug as well, I've heard, and it makes it so that you actually can't use her now in Aurora, which is very, very sad. So, I think that's why they wanted to do this. Should they have given us compensation? Honestly, in my opinion, yes, it sucks that it gets shadow nerfed, but it was a bug, but it's a bug that people didn't know about, right? So I think, some sort of compensation definitely would have been nice to this bug fix, because it's a bug fix, but it directly nerfs a super popular, very hot popular, not hot in terms of looks, but I mean a very trendy team right now. Everyone's using Fushu, right? And they're just nerfing it when she just got released, basically, with this bug. So it's very, very sad. But I think because you can actually use her in a lot of areas of content, it's not the end of the world, right? There's actually a lot of replacements you can use instead of her for Aurora, which I'll definitely make an updated guide on now, because I did have a Fushu guide for this Aurora team. I actually took it down not only because of these nerfs, but it also got demonetized, so that's a different story. But I'll be remaking a guide for Aurora for you guys out there that are still struggling after these changes. But I'm just curious what you guys think about this drama, this bug fix, this shadow nerf, because for me personally, I think it sucks. I think they definitely should have given us something like, I don't know, crystals even, summons even. Summons would probably be the best, but it makes sense from the dev standpoint because it was a bug. But yeah, it just really sucks, to be honest, for players that were using her and using her for the first time in their first Aurora team, right? Because you built her up, and I guess now you have to build a different character. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. I am pretty against this, and I think they should have just given some compensation, but it was a bug, so we have to keep that in mind. But before I end the video, I'm going to showcase a team that you can use instead that is pretty free-to-play friendly. The only real character that is not free-to-play friendly is Yeli that I use, but you can replace her with Dieting, Rosa, Shiata, Sybil, who's an R character, and still find success. But yeah, I'll have an updated guide for you guys, once again, for Aurora to help you guys out. But I'll show you guys the run now. You guys can see that this team is going to be good for Aurora Inferno as well, and you can use it and find success, although probably won't be as high of a win rate. And now I'll show you this team that I use now. This one's very good win rate as well. Definitely don't recommend using Fushu here anymore with nerfs, or I guess not the nerfs, but the bug fixes. If you don't have Yeli here, you can use Diting. He's also okay. You can use Rosa, you can use Giada as well, or Blue Sybil, who's an R unit. You can also use Mia if you have her instead of Chiaki. Mia is going to be, I don't know where she is, but Mia is that red girl, the red healer. She is going to be a better version of Red Chiaki. I'm going to mute here. You guys can watch the run. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just hit the boss and kill it and heal.